Tell us about learning this song and, the transcription effort and what you did. How do you go from hearing that to learning it?
It was super intimidating. So the way I kind of went about doing it was I wrote down note for note what the drum part was in finale, just so I could hear the song like 1,000 times, pun intended, and really just get the notes in my brain. And that took a few hours at least. And by the time I got to the set, I was able to get it within 15, 20 minutes just because I'd heard it so many times.
Right.
And eventually, like the 2116, like the main groove, it didn't even feel like 2116 anymore. It just felt like da 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 da. It just started to feel really natural, and I think that helped me be less intimidated by this crazy song.
What about you?
For me, I had we got that incomplete transcription sort of from one of the members of
Taylor,
the
the piano player from Brekky Boy.
Yeah, so that part was sort of good because it like the crazy left hand part, like that part for the main 2116 part. That would have been difficult to notate, but fortunately I didn't have to do that. Unfortunately, some parts of it were like the that chord wasn't in there, so I had to figure out that's pretty easy. But some of the other parts were a lot harder, and I had to learn them by ear. Like that part was really difficult. I had no idea how to notate that one, and so I just listened to it like 8 times. And I was like, okay, I had it on like 0.75 speed, and it was just like.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just had to figure out note by note. And then he ended up transcribing it later, but it was like, oh, well, I already have that learned. That's unfortunate. And then he also ended up transcribing that crazy chord part. He transcribed that because he's got perfect pitch. And so
yep.
I was like, well, also I was gone for the weekend, and so he ended up just taking that part. But the rest of it I did do. And yeah, it was definitely interesting. There were a lot of weird parts to it that I enjoyed transcribing. And as for learning it, basically once I had transcribed everything, I used MuseScore, and I just put it like a 45 BPM, and I just went very slowly through it, and then slowly upped the tempo until I finally got it. So.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite part of the transcribing and learning process for both of us is that we often notated the same rhythms or sections in different ways.
Yeah.
But when we sat down to play it, it was pretty much seamless between us.
Yeah.
So just we both understood it in different ways.
Yeah.
But
got
to the same place.
He definitely had the correct way of writing it, and I had that's technically the same thing, but why would you do it that way?
That's how it is with the King Crimson books. Like I have my transcription, but the guys who know what they're doing are like, why did you do it this way?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's got all these parts, and it's in like 10/8, and it's in like, okay, so the beat changes here, and I'm like, no, it's still in 4/4. It's just in this horrible.
And
it's all music.
How did it come together with the two of you, like practicing? Like, did the first time
it was surprisingly easy.
It was surprisingly smooth the first time.
That one part at the end where you switch from the main melody, like the actual 1,000 Miles melody, back to his weird jazzy melody. We never messed.
I don't think we messed it up, which is
it was very where it changes time signature and tempo, and for some reason that wasn't difficult.
Yeah, I thought that would be the worst part for us, just because.
Exactly.
Like, how would you?
The hardest part was the stupid lick. That one, it's just I messed that one up so many times.
It's the rite of passage.
Yes. Yes.
What's the hardest part for you on the drums?
Oh, I put my right hand through hell in the jazz waltz section. I didn't have to do that, but I hate myself just a little bit. So, other than that, it was getting the snare and the left hand part and the main groove. That was quite difficult to get the ghost notes and the actual accents in a nice balance with each other, because I had a tendency to play the ghost notes too loud. So it was just impossible to tell what was going on. So really getting the dynamic range in my left hand was, I think, the toughest part for me.
And then you just recently played it at a high school talent show. You want to tell the story of the talent show and how it went down?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it was right before the curtain opened. Owen comes up to me and he's like, "Dude, we should just stare at each other, like weird the audience out." And so we did that. We stared at each other for a good 15 seconds or so before the song started. And the audience is going, what is happening?
Because there were some kids that were running the talent show that were introducing us with a bad 1,000 miles joke, but they had no idea.
Yeah, they were like, oh, they're just playing 1,000 miles, you know.
Because that's all we told them.
1,000 miles. So I think my favorite part of it was when I go and played, let's see. And you can hear the audience, like they started with all cheering, like, yeah, it's 1,000 miles, woohoo, and then you go, and they're like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Yeah, you guys sucked all the air out of them.
Exactly. No, the volume of the audience went from, yeah, to, what?
And it definitely never recovered.
No, it didn't.
That's not true. That's
Really?
Well, sort of.
I listened in headphones to my cell phone recording, and there are girls singing along. When it goes da 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 da, you can hear "I miss you," da 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 da, and you can hear it's like they want to sing aloud, but they can't sing along with this arrangement.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it go?
Well, we didn't win, but it was kind of rigged from the start, so that's all right.
Yeah, winning wasn't the point.
Exactly. It was just...
Playing something so weird that people would question our skill level. I think
Yes,
that was the point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys did great. Thanks
Thank
a lot for doing this. Super
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Any message for Taylor, the composer or the arranger?
That was an awesome song.
Thanks for making the arrangement. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Had a lot of fun playing it, a lot
to
of fun
weird
learning it.
people
Yeah.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Are you guys done, or do you want to do another?
I'm having fun.
Sure. Let's play another just for fun.
Okay.